He's come in, he's having a really good start to his camp. I'm his biggest fan.
The Eagles were in full pads for the first time on the hottest day of training camp. It was so hot that the Eagles actually moved practice up an hour to try to beat the heat.
So you have been very positive about Jahad Campbell so far.
Yes. So I thought today was easily his best day of practice.
Here, our defense just has everything installed for first practice, and we are slowly getting all our stuff in.
Yeah. Our defense? No, we got some stuff for him.
Give me some respect right now. Yeah, be a little quicker, a little quicker. Come on, Dave. Hey, there we Yeah, be a little quicker, a little quicker. Come on, Dave. Hey, there we go. Good money, Dave. Good hands right there. Shake, baby. Quick. Mama.
Super, what's up?
Appreciate that.
What's up?
How you doing?
Good.
We doing a little interview?
Yeah, let's go.
You're not gonna ask me any crazy questions, are you?
No. Maybe a few.
Alright. Wait, step up.
We are.
You'll give this to Jay.
I'll give it to you. Wait, I got you.
Thank you so much. Ask you to sign the back.
I already got that.
Get
up there. No,
you could go. Here, turn around. Make it easier for him.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Can you sign this one?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saquon.
You see, he sounded.
Alright, let's go find someone else. I'm actually going to take a picture.
Go ahead, go get a picture.
He has a pen, he has a pen.
Saquon, can I get a picture with him real quick? No, we'll go with him.
Awesome.
Good to see you again. I see you at the,
You remember me?
I saw you at the,
Final Four.
yeah, the Final Four.
Nice to see you again.
All right, ready? 1, 2.
The Eagles were in full pads for the first time on the hottest day of training camp. It was so hot that the Eagles actually moved practice up an hour to try to beat the heat. Didn't necessarily beat the heat. The players were feeling it out there. 2 new injuries of note. Zach Bond with a back contusion did not practice. Nolan Smith with a concussion did not practice. 2 players that stood out were their replacements. Jahad Campbell playing with the first team at linebacker in Bond's place. You can feel his presence out there, his length, his range. It was apparent on the field. And then Josh Uche, a free agent edge rusher, getting work with the first team. He was able to penetrate the backfield a bit. So those are 2 players to watch. Certainly Campbell as he progresses to a potential first team role. We'll have all your coverage on allphly.com and the PHLY Eagles Show.
What's going on, everybody? Day 5 of training camp in the books. Obviously the hottest day so far. They had to move practice up an hour, but you know, I kind of hate to talk about Jahad Campbell again, but I can't leave this practice and not say that my biggest takeaway was how good Jahad Campbell looked. The defense won the day. The defense definitely got the better of the offense, in my opinion, and part of that was because of Jahad Campbell. So Zach Bond didn't practice today, so Campbell was out there with the first team. He got first team reps against the first team offense. And what's impressive about Campbell is he makes his presence felt. You know, linebackers, it can be tough sometimes to stand out in these practices, but Campbell's doing just that. He had a really nice play on a run where he got to Saquon at the edge. Obviously didn't tackle him to the ground, but did get to him and got his hands on him. And you could see the speed there, but you could also just see he knows what he's looking at, and it was a good instinctual play. The other really nice play he had was on a pass completion to Goddard. He got to Goddard and basically hit him to the ground. Like, he didn't hit him outright, but he was clearly physical with him and brought Goddard down. So just an impressive day from Campbell. Again, linebacker is not an easy position to learn in the NFL coming from college. I don't care where you went to college. It's a tough thing to do. And Campbell looks like he belongs out there. He doesn't look lost. It doesn't look like he's trying to figure out what to happen. He's out there making plays. Athletically, he has all the tools. It's about the mental part of it, and it looks like that's coming along great. So when you consider when they draft him, I wasn't even sure if he would practice right now. The fact that he's practicing with the first team and making plays, the Eagles have to feel really good about it. So day 6 will be Thursday. It might rain, so we'll see, but talk to you guys then.
Jihad Campbell. So you have been very positive about Jihad Campbell so far in camp.
Yes. So I thought today was easily his best day of practice. So Zach Bond did not practice due to a back contusion. They don't practice tomorrow. We'll see if he's out there on Thursday. But as a result, Jihad Campbell got to get first team reps. And what really stands out about Jihad early on is he is always around the football. And today, he made really good plays against Saquon Barkley and against Dallas Goedert. Against Saquon, the Eagles, first team offense, obviously, ran the ball to the left. Jihad Campbell was over there as Saquon tried to get up around the edge. He was there. He met him. In a game, I think he actually would have delivered a pretty big hit. In practice, he just kind of wrapped him up. So I thought that was impressive. His legs allow him to cover so much ground. He gets to the sideline quickly. And then against Goedert caught a short pass in the flat. And almost as soon as he caught it, Campbell was right there, hit him, actually knocked Goedert to the ground. I was surprised Goedert wasn't a little more upset with with that, but they got up. And he just, I don't know everything he's supposed to be doing out there, but I do know the defense has won the day the last 2 days, and he does not look out of place. So the mental part of it is a big part with him in terms of being able to start week 1, and it looks to me like that is coming along very well.
Wow, so there's a real chance it's Bond and Jihad Campbell.
I think it will be Campbell week 1.
You were so forceful in saying that we're not defending anything. This is what Coach Sirianni keeps saying. Why is that way of framing it so important, that you have to start all over again?
I mean, anybody who's an athlete, that's the mentality you have to have. It's hard to put yourself in those shoes because the person who's at home is at home. They're not in our shoes. They don't have to block out anything. All right, all the white noise. But to keep it simple, that's just the best way to go about business. It's just, we're not defending nothing. We're just out here to prove ourselves again this year.
Lane, is there anything from having won that carries you right now?
I think when it comes to the next season, I still want to have, we are the hunter approach, not the hunted. And so not defending, we won last year, won the championship last year. It's a new year. You have a ring ceremony for one night, and then you put the ring up and you don't ever put it on again. So, and that's really how it is. So it doesn't mean nothing to me right now. Season comes by so fast, short off season. So you really don't have time to process things, when you're in it until off season. But the off season really didn't exist. It felt like. Yeah.
Back to the Birds now. Inside linebacker Nakobe Dean remains on the injured list as he recovers from knee surgery back in January.
Even though he's sidelined, he's still making an impact, and today he did so with the state champions of New Jersey. NBC 10's Tracy Davidson has more in a story you'll see only on NBC 10.
On a steaming day at training camp, the state champs from Glassboro High School got the thrill of a lifetime. First, meeting Nakobe Dean.
It's great seeing all these guys who've just put in the work constantly, all these greats. It's just a great feeling to be out here.
Then they met Nakobe's fellow linebacker, Jihad Campbell, who, like these youngsters, is a South Jersey native.
South Jersey animals. They're some beasts.
But the best moment came in a meeting with Eagles legend Jason Kelce. He not only met with the team, but he brought the Bulldogs center, Jace, onto the field.
All you got to do, you got to run block while you're doing it. That's easy.
For a one-on-one lesson.
You got to be a little bit quicker.
I met my idol, the GOAT, greatest center of all time, Jason Kelce.
Come on, let's go.
Honestly, that was incredible. He loves Jason Kelce. I think he'll talk about this for the rest of camp and the rest of the season. So for him to run by Jason Kelce and get a couple tips, I mean, for me as a coach, that's incredible.
What instructions did he give you?
Just quicker, be a little quicker, and just do me.
Glassboro is the Group 1 champion in New Jersey. The Eagles are world champs of all football. The approach the Birds are taking to this season is one their head coach hopes his team follows.
I heard an interview the other day where I think Jalen was talking about that season doesn't matter anymore, right? Like, that doesn't exist. They're on to the next one. He won't even wear his ring. So I was explaining that to the guys, and just their approach after winning it was second to none. Like, they prepare, and to watch them prepare the way they do, I hope, most importantly, it rubs off on the kids, and they'll be able to not get complacent and be able to dominate next season even better than we did this year.
Tracy Davidson, NBC 10 News.
As far as
Yeah, I think he's just grown and continued to grow over time. He's been a true sponge. Personally, he's been a big help in the room, just having those conversations and being able to get different opinions from his perspective. He has a great eye for the game. Obviously plays the position a little different than myself, but everything is rooted in the same beliefs. And so how you express it is just different between us. And I admire that in him and his help in the room. And he's a hell of a player. Hopefully, continues to grow.
How much do you value getting those opinions, whether it's between a series or in the meeting room, wherever it may be? How much do you appreciate that?
Yeah, some things you internalize on your own, and then some things you don't have a grasp for and you ask. And the availability of those things from a coaching perspective and a teammate perspective are very important when that moment permits.
So now that you've gotten more time with Scott Leffler, Parks Frazier, the new guys, how is that going on a daily basis?
It's going well. It's a great dialogue, great communication. We've been talking about this thing of experiences being the biggest teacher and how it's important to learn from every one of those experiences, good, bad, or indifferent. And when you're implementing new philosophical bases in a system, it's important to go out there, get reps in it so you can have something to call on. And so right now we're in a time where we're just making things our own, being different in some areas, also just getting good reps so we can have something to learn from.
Jalen, you guys did some red zone work today. How do you think the offense did in the drills, and just overall, how do you think the offense was today?
Yeah, overall, I think fatigue makes cowards of us all, and these last 2 days have been very challenging from a heat standpoint, and so everybody collectively as a group just continue to push through those things. Control what you can. I think this is a good test and a measure of where we are right now and where we desire to go. So, ran the ball well. Defense played very well. Connected on some in the past game and got to finish on some. Ultimately, it's just great competition, and that's what it's about in training camp. You talk about building that foundation for a team and establishing the right temperament of a team, and we're coming out here competing every day and getting good competition, good work.
What have you noticed about Quinyon Mitchell in his second year?
Yeah, well, he's come in. He's having a really good start to his camp and playing with great confidence, and that's something that you can see. And I'm his biggest fan, because it's something about that on the other side of the ball when you see guys just taking those strides and growing and competing and knowing that they're going against the best of the best every day. I know he's continued to take those steps, and that's what he's showing daily.
Yeah, in terms of running the football, you've done it more, if not more than any quarterback in history of the game for the first 4 years of your career as a starter. Do you see, typically that tails off as they get longer in the career. Do you see the evolution of the game or the way that you brought to that position that you'll maintain this pace?
It's not about maintaining the pace. It's about doing whatever it takes to win, and that's something that evolves from year to year. So I'll continue to have that approach.
Confidence with Quinyon, a couple second-year receivers, Anias and Johnny Wilson, getting some more first-team reps due to circumstance. What have you seen from those guys when it comes to growing?
Yeah, those guys have grown, eager to take advantage of those opportunities, and they've shown up and made some plays, and then they have some that they want back. Ultimately, it's all about learning from it. So one thing I never question is their desire. And so I'm got a lot of confidence in those guys and the direction they're going in.
What improvements have you seen with Jahan Dotson and have just working together with him this all season now?
I think, you see improvements. It's more so, I think, for him coming in and finding that sense of comfort and where he is with this group. He came in last year very late and was a late addition, and so you never really got to build that chemistry. And I think now he's got a feel and understanding for what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, and it's just a matter of his comfort in this on this team and building his role in that, and getting him involved.
The running back room, you mentioned obviously how they were doing pretty well today. What do you like about the guys behind Saquon and A.J. Dillon and Will Shipley, obviously in the second year?
Yes, I love them. They work really hard. They're showing up daily and they're striving to improve. And I think, again, it's more so of a thing where when you got an opportunity, you want to take advantage of it. That can go for the running back room, the tight end room, the receiver room, the O-line room, and the quarterback room. It's about being ready to fill in when your opportunity comes. And so right now, you get a lot of those reps with a lot of guys that you may not get reps in on a high ratio of downs when you're talking about the one group, but there are opportunities that will come for them, and so making sure that they're ready when their phone rings.
Howie built this roster in different ways for a lot of years. And you think about the moves Howie's made from drafting you, extending you, and with your roster, what do you most appreciate or what most impresses you about the way he's built this team?
Well, I appreciate the conversations that we've had and nudging him to go SEC. And I mean, it's been a lot of Alabama, a lot of Georgia coming through here, and it's been good for us, So he's always been really good at what he's done. I've always had confidence in the SEC from my perspective, and that has evolved over time. And at the end of the day, you want to have a group that has a mentality and a will to win, and I think that's kind of a staple down there.
In between series out there, what dictates who you talk to, who you spend time with, and are you intentional for that? In terms of
Say that again?
In between series out there, what dictates who you talk to? I see sometimes with receivers.
That's a very, very, very pointed question. I think it's a matter of, I can go address something when I feel, but what I feel may not always be absolute. So I need to be able to go assess the film sometimes and say, okay, this is exactly what I saw. Then I can nudge and say, hey, I'm convicted that this is what I knew happened, and I communicate that. And then if I'm wrong, I own that and I hold myself accountable and say I was wrong. But it's a sense of communication, because it starts and ends with me and what I do. And so, honestly, it's just having good discernment. There's some things that I can control, and, you got to get good big control on it. You touch the ball every play, and then there are some things that you really can't control from a sense of what others do. And so it's a matter of being on the same page. I feel like we weren't on the same page. If I'm trying to reiterate something to over-communicate and drive a point because this is very important, then I'll do that. But it all comes down to communication. And if I'm not saying anything, then I may not have an expectation for you to, do something.
Not to look too much to what we've seen on the field. Like, the Andrews have seen for months, and you guys are still running plays. Where is the progression?
I think that's a fair perspective to have, because we're still implementing things offensively, and so we've kind of been sitting and saturating ourselves in the thing as time goes on. Last week was a different emphasis. This week is a different emphasis. Next week will be a different emphasis, and so it's a competitive. There are always competitive practices, but it's more so about getting the reps that we need, having the lessons we can pull from so we can continue to grow. Well, I think it's to that point, I go a little broader in perspective of, just the mentality you want to have in the quarterback room, because I think it comes down to your focus. You're talking about individual focus. Everybody having the right type of focus and everybody having the right type of discipline and doing what it takes to lead and hold yourself accountable to do your job. The only way you can truly, really demonstrate that you mean what you say is by living it. And so we got to live that every day, live with, great focus and live with great discipline to do our job. And I think that's something that's in the room. Everybody's hungry. Everybody's eager to grow. They're great conversations, and I can say from my perspective now, I think, it was a different dynamic for me as a rookie, whereas having Kyle in there now, see some of the conversations that, Scott and I are having, it's like, okay, I can, these are conversations that he's going to learn from because I had that same opportunity to learn from those things when they came. And so just having that type of dynamic in the room, being able to talk through things, talk to Tanner, talk to Scotty, talk to Kevin, and talk to DTR. Everybody's listening, everybody's flowing, everybody's trying to learn and take things from one another to help each other be the best that they can be.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Jalen. How do you feel like these first 2 days go for you, especially?
Yeah, it's eye-opening for sure. Just getting to experience what it's like to play against NFL caliber guys and, to go against the best offense in the league. I mean, offensive line, I'm definitely learning a lot through my mistakes and failures. I'm making sure to ask questions with those guys, and then, just the tempo with the guys in the group as well. I mean, it's been awesome to go out there and work, these past few days with those guys.
Forbes said yesterday it's a perfect scene for other parts of the game. Other places would take it from Morrow.
Morrow's really helped me understand just, kind of like what you said, it's that grown man league. Like don't go out there just because you're new and kind of ease your way into it. Just go, balls to the wall. That's what, it doesn't matter if you mess up, we can correct that. But as long as the effort's there, you can be coachable, which is something I like to pride myself on. Then, as long as I get better each and every day, then I can count that as a win.
You mentioned those eye-opening moments. Anything particular that stands out that you said, whoa?
Yeah, I mean, I play mostly on the right side, so, getting hit by Landon and Jordan, those are some strong guys, right? And, I'm used to, not really having, be engaged. I mean, usually I can get my way off a block, and those guys are holding on pretty well, so having to learn how to be even more, detailed and tactical on how to get off a block and how to be more violent and using that leverage to my advantage.
Do you find yourself maybe thinking more than, just reacting at this point?
I think right now, obviously, the way I kind of view the game, I'm really trying to understand how NFL offenses work. I'm asking Coach Hurt all the time, just what kind of looks that this could mean. Just kind of some cheats and tricks I can use out there. So right now, I'm just definitely trying to, evaluate what I'm seeing from the front, and then what type of blocks I'm getting. Just taking that mental note and making sure I'm ready for the next one. Yes, sir. I mean, I think it's been, last 2 years I haven't had to play it as much. So it's definitely kind of, a call back to my earlier years in college. But, I'm just, like I said, just trying to get better each and every day, kind of just laying that foundation. So when time comes, I'm ready to go. Yeah. The box drill, you don't realize how tiring it is till you actually get to the box drill. By the third one, you're pretty gassed, but that's kind of the whole point, is to, get past your mental limit when your body thinks it can't take anymore, but your mind says it can, type of deal. Like when we were in OTAs, Coach Hurt, he made me go, they call it passes for each direction, each movement. So he made me do 12 in a row in the very last one. I mean, I was down, that's how we ended practice. I was down for the count for about 5 or 10 minutes. But, just kind of, show, the mental and the physical toughness to the guys in the room that I'm not willing to go out there and just quit on them just because my body's tired, and that I can also push through that type of adversity.
Is this something you've done in the past a lot, or is it?
I mean, yeah, it's similar to like something like when you do mat drills or something like that, kind of similar drills. But, Coach Fangio, I mean, he's right, though, like just the way the awkward movements and the kind of change of direction that you have to go through. I mean, it puts your body to get ready for days like this or for mini camp as well.
You sense that you have a real opportunity here to start to feel like you have a real opportunity that's once the season starts, you think that,
I'm just taking it day by day right now. Whatever Coach Hurt's giving me, I'm going to take every advantage I can of those opportunities. Win or lose, like I'm going to learn from what I can to make sure that I can just be available in whatever role they need me to be.
Why'd you go to gloves?
What'd you say?
Why'd you go to gloves?
I mean, I've always gone to gloves when pads came on. For the first few days when there's no pads, I don't really see a point in wearing gloves. Kind of get the wrist used to being locked up a little bit, kind of grow that callus on there. Thanks, guys.
Through. You know people. My all-time favorite Philly right there.
What was it about him that you so much?
Well, he was their best player when I was young, and he was obviously a great player.
Stories of his home runs are fairly legendary for those of us in Tennessee.
A couple years ago, I golfed with Goose Gossage, and we played 18 holes. We rode the same cart, and I talked baseball with him. And he played with Allen in Chicago. He said he was the best teammate he'd ever had. So a little bit of the...
Long overdue, Hall of Fame. Sadly overdue.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk football.
Really?
Yeah. Morrow, we talked about him a lot. You said he impressed last year, but you would always bring up, he's a lighter guy. How do you think he's going to be able to hold up inside with additional snaps?
I think he'll hold up well. He did last year when he played in there. He's a year older, a year of playing significant snaps under his belt, getting reps here in training camp. I think he'll do good.
With Adoree Jackson, his experience, how much does that show up on the field, and what about his game shows that experience?
Yeah, the first few days out here, he was kind of like, he didn't know he was out there. The ball wasn't going his way at all. And then yesterday, he had a couple balls thrown his way, and he did very well. He had a very good day yesterday. It's too early to say what his experience is or isn't right now. He's played a good bit of ball, but I think this is the place where he's got to, show who he is and be the player, hopefully, that people have always thought he could be.
What did he look like on film a year ago, and then he eventually gets benched, but did you trot that up more as a team, wanting to look at younger players than anything he was doing?
No, I didn't watch a whole lot of tape on him. Howie kind of wanted to sign him, and when Howie wants to sign somebody, it doesn't matter what I say. So we just took him in, and I didn't really watch a lot of his tape last year, but I've seen him play over the years. Saw him when he was coming out of college. So
why do you think that this is the place that he can maybe show? You mentioned what he could be. Is it the scheme?
Yeah, I don't know if I think it's the place. I think it's time for him to show that. In Tennessee, when it came time to re-sign him, after his contract was up, they didn't. The Giants, his contract was up, they didn't. It's time to show who he is or who he isn't.
What's the little things you're looking at when you're deciding on who's winning a job at corner? That might not stand out, obviously, in record.
Just who's playing better. I mean, a lot of the times, it's easy for you guys to see when a guy makes a good play, but there's a lot of times where they got a good play going that the ball doesn't go there, so you don't really know it. And vice versa. They may have a bad down going and the ball doesn't go there, so it doesn't get exposed. So it's just consistent overall good play. And just because the ball did or did not go his way, those plays are just as important in evaluating.
What can you do while he's out, and how long do you expect that in training camp, and how much is that way, how much is he able to do?
Yeah, I mean, he just has to pay attention to meetings to get mental reps, but there's no replacing physical reps. Meetings and mental reps are good, but the value of them compared to physical reps is night and day.
Along those lines, can you see any improvement in Sydney to where he was obviously a year ago?
He's finally getting to start in the OTAs training camp to learn his way through the system and learn how we expect him to play, and he had no chance of that last year. So I see him getting better.
What's the standpoint of the entire defense? We think you can. How well do you think your unit's picking things up this year compared to last year?
I don't know. I can't. Obviously, a lot of them are doing better because even though we lost a lot of players on defense, there's still a lot of players that were here. So we're probably doing a little bit better in that mode.
What has impressed you the most about Jahad Campbell now that you've gotten a chance to see him in some of the team drills?
Yeah, I do see him making small strides every day. Again, it may not be noticeable to the average eye, but he's making good strides. And if he can keep making those strides, I think he'll be what we had hoped he would be.
What have you noticed about Mac McWilliams the first week?
Yeah, Mac's got some good football instincts. He's got to learn the finer points of what we're doing all the time. He's a little hit and miss with that right now, but that's to be expected. But I do like the player. I think he's got good skill, and he's got a little football savvy to him, which, if you don't have that, it's hard to coach that.
How far advanced is Trotter?
How what?
How far advanced from a year ago is Trotter?
Yeah, he's much more advanced, obviously. He got to be a part of the team last year, went through everything last year. Don't believe he was ever hurt last year, never missed any time. It's now second year through in the same system. He's much better than he was last year at this time.
Davis come along with Cooper in that sort of dual role, safety in the base.
Yeah, I think it's going fine. We just haven't, to be honest, we haven't had enough snaps of it for him. Our offense is primarily playing 11 personnel out there against us. So, we haven't had a ton of base snaps up to this point. Like to see him get some more and get him tested. I don't know that he's ever truly been tested yet with a hard play.
That's something you can coordinate with him?
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to be able to. Right now, we haven't been able to.
Jordan Davis has lost weight.
Let me ask you this: ball skills, does that improve with time? Does it improve with drills? How do you work on ball skills in particular?
Yeah, I think it can improve, obviously, with work. And I think the work he's put in has made it. He has improved. He had a nice interception yesterday, which I don't know if he makes last year. But ball skills is a natural thing, too. So the improvement you can make is incremental. But any improvement he can make, he'll make because he'll work at it.
When Jordan Davis has lost weight, he said 26 pounds. Does that correlate to him actually being able to get lower in his pass rush? He's not too upright.
It should, because when you get tired, you don't get low enough. And if you're tired, he should, in theory, not be as tired as quick as he used to be.
In terms of adding more to your pass rush moves,
yeah,
would that happen because of?
I think so. Anytime you move better, particularly when you're talking about pass rush, you open up a new world for yourself. And with his length, he's got to be able to use his length when it's an advantage, and then he's got to make himself 6'2" when he needs to by bending his knees.
What's your evaluation of the edge rush depth so far with guys like Josh Uche and Cito Gilliard? How do you feel about the entire edge rush group in terms of depth?
Yeah, I feel good about Nolan, and Jalix is making good strides. After that, we got some heavy competition going on. And, nobody's really truly surfaced yet, good or bad. Hopefully over the course of this camp and preseason games, that will play itself out. What's that?
So with Jahad Campbell, there's small strides in coverage. How have you seen those strides being particularly working with him? Just some individual drills for running backs. How can you progress there?
Yeah, those are all just teaching drills. You know, for an inside linebacker, he needs to show his improvement 11 on 11. You know, the most fundamental thing you have to do on defense is figure out if it's a run or a pass. And that's critical for an ILB. And the more reps he can get that way, the better it'll be.
How do you weigh those one-on-ones in the evaluation process versus the team reps?
Me personally, I don't weigh him a lot.
Where are you with install of the defense? Cam mentioned he thought it was completely installed. Is that the case?
Totally installed? No.
I didn't know if he would know, but he thought it was. Cam Jurgens.
Oh, Cam
Jurgens.
Our center?
Yeah.
What'd he say?
He thought it was completely installed.
Our defense?
Yeah.
No, we got some stuff for him.
How do you like Ty Robinson?
He's doing fine. He's competing. He's in great shape. And, you know, probably this is his first real opportunity. And I think he's trying to do his best to take advantage of it. And, you know, he's right there.
What changes offensively when you're evaluating when the pads come on?
What changes? Again, I think the action speeds up. The play action, the run game, all speeds up. And it's better, you know. Again, like I said, the most fundamental thing you have to do on defense is figure out if it's a run or a pass. And that's more realistically accomplished in a padded practice.
After all your years coaching, how much do you enjoy or not enjoy a hot day like this at training?
It's not hot today. That's a mindset, you know. We're going to play some hot games in September, and if you cave to a hot day in training camp, we're in trouble.
Box drill is something that's productive for them. What's the background for that? And I guess why do you favor it so much?
I just like the drill. It was a drill that I implemented, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago to get players ready for change of direction, reacting to the offense. And then I quickly found out it was a really good conditioner. And it's a great drill. And we do it a lot in the spring. Clint's done it a little bit with the D-line out here. It's a tremendous drill. And it's kind of one of those few drills that I think is football specific and gets guys ready and in shape for football, not just running wind sprints or gassers. You know, nobody runs a gasser on the football field.
Are you wearing the sweatshirt?
Hell yeah.
It ain't no doggone tomorrow, fellas. What are you gonna bring to the doggone turn? Are you gonna bust somebody in their mouth? Are you gonna do your doggone job? Are you gonna play from your doggone chest? Are you gonna play from your heart and get everything you doggone got? Cause I'ma do that. They don't respect us. They don't know about our heart, man. That thing is beating your doggone chest right now. Whatever you got today,